Too broke to joke, that's the life we chose. From the barrio to the barrel, yeah, everybody knows. We may be broke, but we're laughing through the pain, turning every struggle into podcast and fame. Too broke to joke, that's the life we chose. From the barrio to the barrel, yeah, everybody knows. We may be broke, but we're laughing through the pain, turning every struggle into podcast and fame.
Manny, what's up, man?
What's up, O?
It's nice to see you again.
Pleasure, as always.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we'll get the sounds
What's
right
up,
this
everybody?
time. Yo.
What we doing today, man?
I thought we were just going to fucking hang out and chill and talk shit. You know, the usual.
Like we always do.
Right.
Hey, I want to add to make sure everybody follows the Handfellas. HANDFELLAS.
Handfellas. Yes, 50-year-olds working with puppets.
Playing with dolls.
Right. Well, you know, some people can make a really good living doing that.
Shit, some people did have.
Ask
There's
Jim
a whole
Henson.
street of puppets.
We're straight up. Yeah.
Sesame.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't think you had to elaborate. I think everybody knew. Is Sesame Street hood?
Yeah, that's a hood. Fuck yeah. You got fucking a dude living in a trash can. That's hood as fuck, bro.
Who else is hood there?
Snuffleupagus, which nobody knew he existed for a while.
Right.
Who was it?
He was the drug dealer that came in. Nobody saw him. He came in and out.
The Cookie Monster's a weirdo. That's definitely a hood fucking hood show.
And then we had Maria, Puerto Rican, right? Luis, Puerto Rican.
It was definitely in New York. That's how it's fucked up.
He could watch me. Gordon? Was it
Bro,
Gordon?
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, no, but the black guy.
I remember the symbol. Yeah,
the
Gordon.
black guy was
yes,
Gordon.
Yes,
yeah, Gordon. And then I forgot the name of the bodega owner that died, but they wound up calling the store by his name after he passed away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was gonna say Mr. McFeely, but Mr. McFeely was Mr. Rogers, and to this day I still think that's a weird name.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. That was another weirdo. I don't know, man.
Yeah, dude. So yeah, I had a crazy thought last night.
What's up?
Did you know that before was is? Think about it. Right? Was is the past tense of is.
Right.
So before was
it was
is. Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes, these are the crazy thoughts.
Omar's full of useless information.
No doubt. I'm like Cliff Clavin from Cheers.
They drink steaming hot pots of tea on the hottest days of the year to balance out their inside and outside temperatures. See, conversely, drinking an ice cold drink on a cold day actually results in a more comfortable body temperature.
Have you been following the Eagles in California, the Jackie and Shadow?
No, only when I go to your house. I know one of the babies died.
Ooh,
That's sad. When you said one of them died, I thought it was one of the parents for some reason.
It happens, though. It does happen.
What, that the parents?
Yeah.
How? So fucking things are huge, or what kills them?
What? Random shit. The other day, Jackie went out to... So anyway, Jackie and Shadow, they kind of grabbed partially the world by storm. They're watched worldwide. Sorry, I just watched that airplane climb. It must be windy.
Yeah, probably.
Because I was comparing it to that line. It literally did this, like it picked up. So Jackie and Shadow, they're out in Bakersfield. They're out in California. Fuck. Big Bear Lake. I believe the website is called Friends of Big Bear Lake. And there's cameras set up, and they watch this couple try to hatch chicks every year, and they've been pretty unsuccessful until this year. They laid 3 eggs, all 3 hatched, and go figure, the first one that hatched, the oldest one, who was the biggest one of the group, actually passed away first, because I think he
froze, right?
He got wet and got cold, yeah, because it snowed a couple of times. It's still snowing out there.
I think that was probably the one that kept trying to climb out.
Yeah.
He was a little too active.
Yeah, he was
like,
a little too
motherfucker,
much.
wait, you're not ready.
Yeah.
See what happened?
No,
Toma.
you're dead. That's what you said. I said that to Sasha yesterday when we were watching, because she's like she's making the nest bigger. And now she's leaving them alone much longer because they're really big. They're like 5 pounds each one. That's huge.
Hey, 5 pounds each. And she's still on top of them?
She can't fit them, so she like opens her wings. She keeps them warm still.
Yeah, but they grew that fast since last week.
Oh yeah, you'll see when we get home, dude. It's freaking crazy, dude.
Damn.
So it's really. Who would have thought that I'd be like compelled to be stuck to a TV watching eagles? It's really interesting. Of course, I always have to.
The lazy way of doing bird watching.
Right. Not for the people that set up the camera. That wasn't lazy. They had to climb up.
Well, we're talking about you now.
Yeah,
we're talking about you. You do bird watching from your sofa.
No doubt. There's no doubt. I'm
with the windows closed, lights off.
Well, I have birds. I bird watch every day.
Yeah.
Little parakeets.
Yeah. Put those birds next to that bird. See how long they last.
Well, you heard the crazy story of my blue parakeet, right?
Yeah.
That
ran
dude
away.
survived.
It ran
survived 2 weeks out in the wild.
That's why he hates you.
I can't believe we caught him. 2 days it took us, like 16 hours of waiting patiently and trying to put treats in his cage until I even tied a piece of yarn to the other bird because they were really close.
Right.
And he finally came down and he went into
dope.
the cage. Yeah, it was crazy. I can't believe we found him and recovered him. That was bananas. But yeah, so Jackie and Shadow, look it up. Friends of Big Bear Valley. I think it's really, really cool. I mean, I always have to take it like one step weirder. I'm like, every time I look at it, I go, wow, we're looking at dinosaurs. This is how dinosaurs grew up.
Yeah.
This is how dinosaurs grew up.
Yep, I always thought dinosaurs were lizards, but they're not. They're from birds.
They're kind of in between.
Both, right?
Yeah. So they're starting to discover now that dinosaurs had feathers. So there's a dude on YouTube that has remade their Jurassic Park scenes with the raptors and the T-Rex of what they actually look like with feathers and stuff, and it's just a whole different vibe, dude.
Really?
Yeah, it makes you look at birds just really, really differently.
Shit.
Speaking of birds, new fighter jet.
The fuck 47.
The F-47.
The fuck 47.
Do you think that was done on purpose?
I think so. I think he thinks it's an homage to him, but he has said so many bad things about the military and soldiers who fought in our war and made fun of some people who got caught, became prisoners of war, that our military, our generals, or whoever named it, I think it means fuck 47.
Okay.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
There's several people online that think that.
Yeah, I think so. He's taking it as an homage, like, oh, it's the F-47, I'm the 47th president. Yeah. You
know what I didn't do? I didn't look up to see if that had been done before with other, maybe with the B-21 bomber. And I'll fact check, but I don't think he's the first president to have an aircraft numbered.
Well, the B-52...
Love jet, baby,
I believe, I could be wrong, but the B-52 was because it was I think it was 1952 when they.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's where the name came from for that. But NGAD, they're calling it also.
The next generation.
Aerial, or is it aerial?
Dominance.
Aerial dominance.
Yeah. Next generation aerial dominance. Yeah.
NGAD.
So there's really no. I mean, the pictures are cool. But most of the renderings that are online are kind of speculation.
And someone stands to profit big time from that.
Boeing. Yeah. Who would have thought? A company that was kind of on its fucking heels and on the ropes last year.
And I think that's why they did it. They probably did it to kind of save them.
I guarantee that wasn't done for free. That's for sure.
They probably donated a hefty fund to the Fuck 47 fund.
Probably. I'm sure Lockheed's pretty pissed. But if anything, Lockheed probably still does the systems. In either event, they say that this test bed they've been testing this aircraft for about 5 years, which means people have seen it and it looks weird and people think it's a fucking a UFO. A UFO. But who knows? So I was watching something yesterday that said that I don't know, have you seen pictures of the miniature space shuttle that they use to put satellites up? It's called the X-37B.
No.
So it looks like the old school space shuttle, but teeny tiny. And this thing I've seen it launch before, I believe, before the space shuttle was discontinued. and they continue to do this. And I think that this thing is able to go like far, and either take pictures of the Earth from really far away. Either way, it's something that they've been using to test bed the new tech in this F-47.
Right.
So a couple things come to mind. Can the X-47 go to space? I mean, you start kind of thinking there's a space force now. What are you using to force in space without something that you can fly up there?
Right.
You know, and then to go back on Boeing a little bit, you know, like I was saying, Boeing was kind of on the ropes and on its heels, and didn't 2 whistleblowers commit suicide?
Yeah.
Right, for Boeing?
You know, I do that shit all the time when I leak out shit. I kill myself.
Oh, Jesus, that's so crazy. So, I mean, so the F-47 and Boeing getting this contract is kind of like a reminder, hey, everybody, so remember like the 2 whistleblowers that are no longer with us? Yeah, now with the F-47, we can do that to anybody all around the world. You know what I'm saying? Makes your head scratch a little bit.
Yeah, and a nice thing I heard about that the fuck 47 is the fact that it could be manned.
Oh, and unmanned.
And autonomous, they call it?
Autonomous, yeah.
Autonomous?
So, they call the pilot now a systems manager. That's probably what's going to be like trucks and buses and stuff. There'll be a human on board.
Could you imagine if they did that with airplanes, like passenger airplanes?
But this is, remember that.
They do have autopilot. Now, most of the time, I hear pilots don't even fly the plane. Most of the time, it's on autopilot.
Pilots work at takeoff and at landing the most.
Right.
But there are airplanes that can do auto land, like the Airbus does auto land and stuff like that. And obviously, it's getting better as time goes on. But I feel that this thing is probably going to do more missions unmanned than manned, and the person managing the systems, the pilot, is going to be in an office somewhere looking at a screen.
And not only that, I heard that it could be accompanied by a whole bunch of other planes and it controls drones.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts, man. It's a whole different type of warfare now, bro. And I appreciate it, because I don't like war. Nobody likes war. But if we're gonna go to war, I'd rather lose as little people as possible.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. But you know, globally at this time, the only armies that will lose less people are the people that can afford to have this tech, right? So
right, and according to
Russia, China, U.S.
According to that guy who works with our President Musk, Trump, he said that he's gonna tone it down and sell it to other countries.
Yeah, by 10%.
But toning it down.
Yeah, by 10%. I mean, I guess you can argue, say, why would you do that? I mean, they sell weapons to other countries all the time.
Yeah, I mean, why do you think we make most of our money? The military is selling shit to other countries.
Well, that's why war is so popular, right? I mean, the United States historically has benefited financially from wars.
Right.
You know? I mean, one of the best financial times in the history of the United States, besides the Industrial Revolution, I'm talking about recently, would be the 50s. Post-war, right? Where everybody was making really good money. Unemployment was at a low. And the people that made a lot of money paid a lot of taxes.
Right.
You know, I believe it was anything after $4 million, they would pay 90 cents to the dollar after $4 million in the 50s. I don't know what the rate is now.
I'm sure it's a lot
I'm
more.
sure, yeah. Would you maybe like 4 times as much, maybe?
Maybe even 5.
Yeah, that's crazy. Bananas. So yeah, new type of warfare, which is crazy. I can't wait to see these things flying around. I'll be honest with you.
And I think that the timing of this announcement about the bird and all that is the fact that this guy wants to put fear in some countries of the power that we have. So that's definitely what's going on right now.
And listen, I have eyes and I have ears, and if from a 30,000 foot perspective, what has been going on the past couple of months, right? We're kicking everybody that's not a citizen out, right? Whether people think it's right or wrong, it kind of all depends on the angles. You know, it sucks that some people that are innocent are getting, whipped up in that and thrown out. But besides that, the tariffs, we're almost telling the world, like, get the fuck out, leave us alone. We're preparing.
Yeah.
We're preparing. Kind of like going back into your corner as a boxer.
But what's also weird, man, is what I'm hearing now, that if you go visit other countries, that you should take another cell phone. Don't take your own cell phone. Did you hear about that?
They're going through phones right now.
They're going through phones, and if you've said anything about President Musk or his friend Trump,
yeah, that's true.
You're fucked.
Well, you want to hear something crazy? Yesterday, there was a dude that posted here in New York a Cybertruck with a decal on the back that said Toyota. You know how some people are trying to fool Toyota? The guy's laughing, Toyota. I literally wrote, oh, look at that. A wolf in sheep's clothing. And then I put hashtag hiding in plain sight. 30 seconds later, Instagram deleted it.
I
actually took a snapshot of it. I'll post it up. It said I broke community guidelines. Yeah. So you might have been right last time when you said when I said it's a free country, and you said not anymore.
No, man. Pretty soon we're gonna have a picture of President Musk and his sidekick Trump on our houses by law.
He's got to be hurting financially.
Who, Musk?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, not really.
Well, I mean,
for that company, for the Tesla company itself.
He's lost almost 30% of his worth in the last 2 months, man. That's
really?
Yeah.
That's fucking dope.
I thought I heard
I hope I find it.
I thought I heard an audio of, like a leaked audio of him and 47 chatting about that, and he's like, it's bad, and he's like consoling him, going, it's gonna be alright. He was like, no, it's really bad.
Good. I mean, he brought it upon himself, man. Listen, Musk was one of the few, one of the billionaires that I kind of liked.
Me too. Until
I was respecting him, especially when he was talking this whole Mars thing, and he was so animated about it. I was like, oh, this is dope. Somebody who's gonna spend money to do something more than just. But now, bro, his alliances are fucking killing my opinion.
Well, I think that he thought that aligning himself with the government was going to help him. Because look, remember that if China isn't nipping at his heels on the car tech, they've surpassed him.
Right.
So and what's
I think everyone.
I think that the big push of all these YouTubers and like these influencers that are now reviewing. Have you noticed that more and more people are reviewing these Chinese cars? Because they're everywhere but here. I don't think there are any in Canada, but definitely Mexico. And there's people that have imported them here. They're allowed to. They just can't sell them here. And they're, by an order of magnitude, better than
Chinese cars?
Teslas. Yeah.
What kind of cars?
The BYD.
I never even heard of it or seen it.
Dude, you haven't seen the videos of that SUV that floats in water?
No.
All right, we're going to watch some videos when we get home. But apparently BYD is probably one of the safest electric cars that's out there. Wow. And super strong. Dude, I saw a video of an accident. A tractor trailer hit this thing sideways, like T-boned it. The tractor trailer tipped over. And the SUV, you could barely notice anything wrong with it.
Really?
They leaned a gigantic filled dump truck, tilted it on the corner. Nothing. Like really, really fucking strong.
Could there be downsides to that? To the car being that? Like,
what do you mean?
I don't know. I mean, the person's protected inside, but I feel like if that thing hit a person, it would kill the shit out of them.
If one of those cars hit a person?
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, they're changing the rules of the
you could get killed by any of these cars right now that we're looking at, but I feel like a car that strong would
plow through everything.
Yeah.
Well, even Teslas they're making the transportation people second guess the guardrails on the highways because they're so heavy. I mean, a regular sedan weighs as much as this truck.
That's another point. That's a good point because if a car that heavy will, like you said, plow through anything. If it's gonna come off this highway, it's gonna go through that shit.
It's gonna go through that. Yeah. Pretty fucking dangerous.
And it floats on water.
Yeah, well, this BYD does. You haven't seen the car that jumps? The supercar that jumps over potholes?
That's old though. That's
a year old. That's a year ago.
Because I remember they had a chassis or something that they did to cars a few years back. I saw that it looks like it, like, yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. It hops. It literally jumps, and it was doing 120 miles an hour, jumped over a giant hole in the road autonomously. There was nobody in the car.
Shit.
Yeah, their tech is crazy. There's videos of people, they get to like a store, they get out of their car, they hit a button, the door opens, they get out, the door closes, the car goes and parks itself.
Yeah. You think we're headed that way?
Yeah.
When though, man? Shit,
I don't know.
Bro. We grew up on the Jetsons. We should have been doing that shit.
Well, I think that,
they have a car. I saw a car that flies, and they showed it flying over another car to go over it.
Yeah.
But it makes so much noise.
Yeah.
It's not impressive to me. I mean, okay, you made a small plane that looks like a car that can jump over a car.
Imagine if all these cars on the highway were flying cars. The amount of wind and noise that would be crazy.
Yeah, and imagine an accident in midair.
It's just, to kill anybody that's on the ground.
I don't think we should ever have flying cars. Yeah, I don't think
You're not the only one that has thought that.
Yeah, we should.
It's not practical. It's
not
not
at
practical.
all. Because you look how stupid people are driving. Imagine now you're up in the air and you crash up there. Now you're gonna land and kill people on the ground or smack into buildings.
Look how stupid people are in general.
Right.
You know?
I mean, not us.
No,
we're intelligent.
you're right.
Let's go play with puppets.
That's right. I consider myself fairly uneducated.
How you spell that? I had this dude. He told me he was arguing with me, from work. Mm-hmm. And the guy goes, "You're out of your jurisdiction." I said, "Spell jurisdiction." And the first thing he said was "N." I swear to God, it's not a joke.
What?
Yeah, he was an idiot, the fucking guy.
Wow.
But yeah, man. So the fuck 47, man. That's pretty dope. I don't mind. I love the way it looks.
It looks dope.
It looks sleek.
It looks very
future.
future. It looks very future.
It looks like you can't even. It looks almost flat on the top. Like you can't even fit a person there.
It almost looks like a dish.
Yeah. I wonder where they got that idea.
It almost looks like a dish. But they're probably using it in the Middle East right now with that attack on Yemen. Oh my God! Speaking of that, did you hear in the news on how a reporter was accidentally added to a chat string that before the attack on Yemen with the whole timeline? Somebody added.
I heard it was Trump's mistake too, or somebody in his thing, right?
Well, nobody's admitted. They're doing congressional hearings right now, but nobody's admitted to who added the guy. And then, of course, they come out and they're like, "That guy, all he does is report garbage. All he does is lie." Of course, trying to discredit him. I'm like, well, if he's such an asshole, then why even add him to the string?
Right.
Somebody added him by mistake, I guess.
Right.
Instead of just saying, look, it's a mistake. We fucked up. All right, we'll learn from this and move on. No, they have to deny it and deny it over and over until groups of people start believing it. No, they didn't do it. They said they didn't do it. That's what annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
That's what annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah.
His words, not mine. You say something long enough and hard enough, it becomes the truth.
People start to believe it.
Yeah, it becomes the truth. It's so fucking annoying. I grew up getting my ass beat not to lie. Don't lie. And the people that run the world now, that's all they do.
That's all they do, and they get away with it.
So, no, you're not allowed to lie.
But we can say whatever the fuck we want.
We can say whatever the fuck we want. Right.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah, that's the world. What are you going to do?
So many things happening right now.
So going back to this whole, like you said, what do you think is going to happen with these electric cars for us? The EPA just lifted a bunch of regulations on diesel cars, which means, you're pretty much, it's open season to continue to do gas. And I wonder if that's also another ploy to be self-contained while we're at war. We have to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can't mine batteries, but we have plenty of oil. Let's just, everybody's fine. Let's keep using gas and shit like that.
So who do you think we would war with in the coming years?
China.
Wow, that's gonna be a problem, bro.
Yeah.
First of all, well, you know, the good thing is that we're not gonna be. It's not gonna be mostly army against army, like men fighting. It's gonna be mostly machines.
We hope so.
Yeah.
It'll be a tech war.
It'll be a tech war, but right. It'll come up to who has the better machines, right? Because now we got that airplane. I think that's what the whole purpose of unveiling this airplane is to put fear in people.
Yeah, leave us the fuck alone. But this will be the first conflict, I believe, since the Spanish-American War, really, the fucking Civil War.
I think it'll happen over the ocean.
Well,
because if we're not going into China, bro. They're gonna beat us with people. Oh, that's all they have over there is fucking.
That's not
people.
my argument. My argument is a tech war. It doesn't use guns. A tech war shuts down our banks.
Right.
A tech war shuts down our infrastructure.
Oh, you were talking about that kind of tech. I'm talking about if we go to war, physical war. It's going to be mostly over the ocean with airplanes, drones, and shit like that.
Right, but look how Ukraine has been spanking Russia with those homemade drones.
Yep.
So what's it take to make a drone that's small enough, that's undetectable to come and, blow up a nuclear power plant here?
No, yeah. I mean,
it's scary.
Yeah. But, you've taught me enough to know that our skies are very well protected. So hopefully we'll catch that shit.
I think so.
Before it happens. I think it's going to happen over the ocean. If it's a physical war. Close to the shores, yeah, but over the ocean.
Like, we're going to hear it.
Yeah.
We're going to hear it. Like, I feel like these roadways are the most vulnerable. The cross Bronx, the bridges, shit. Like, all they got to do is take
for
out
obvious reasons, right. For obvious reasons. So we can't move.
And I don't know if any patriotic act of everybody having a flag and rooting for each other like post 9/11, I don't think that. Listen, that happened because the infrastructure wasn't touched here, right? Everybody still went to work the next day,
right.
But something like that takes out a tunnel, a bridge, the banks, bro. Hurricane Katrina, 7 days after there was no fuel, there's people punching each other in the face. So imagine going a month, 2 months, 3 months without being able to buy food that patriotism, I think, goes out the fucking door.
Yep.
My opinion.
That's when those the pew-pews will come in handy. If you have them in the house, you're gonna have to barricade yourself in there and protect your family.
But all these houses, like the houses that we live in, they're all made out of wood. Like bullets go through it. Not like it's different, like these buildings that are made out of bricks and cement.
But I'm talking about once people turn against each other here.
Yeah.
Because it'll happen.
Well, so we want to prevent that. We don't want that to happen. But if it does, it's ugly.
That congestion pricing in Manhattan. Because of that, the subways are more packed now and more fights. More problems.
I can see that, yeah.
It's crazy right now in the subway. I just saw a video of a dude in a New York City bus with a gun out. Talking about, stop this fucking bus. Don't make me lick off a shot in this bus.
What?
Yeah, man. I'll show it to you later. I was like, that's crazy. People are just, their temperament is just through the roof right now with everything going on.
It's stressful.
A lot of the times it's just regular. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. I'm so stressed out by taking subways to work because I work in Manhattan most of the time. So I'm so stressed out that the littlest shit bothers me. Now you got these messengers on bikes, these electric bikes. They go from the Bronx, Brooklyn, whatever, into Manhattan, but they put their bikes on the train. And they're fucking taking mad seats because they gotta.
But they gotta work.
Oh my God.
No, that's what you said to me when I was complaining about all the scooters in the street.
Yeah, but no, this
You're
is
like
different.
An old man complaining.
This is different. This is different, way different from what you're talking about. You're talking about scooters that aren't even bothering you. They're just there. Imagine being in a subway like this with people
and then a scooter
and fucking bikes. I elbowed one the other day, the bike. I said, get that shit out the fucking way. And the African guy was yelling at me. I was like, I don't give a fuck. You ain't fucking taking up all this space. Fucking, you got an electric bike. Ride that shit, motherfucker.
Yeah, what's the story with that?
I mean, I get it. You got to get to Manhattan, but I know for a fact most of these bridges have fucking little side, side pedestrian walkways and shit that you can fucking take.
Maybe you can't. Maybe you get in trouble.
Nah, you can. You can. Because I've been on bikes on the G-Dub. I've been on bikes in the Brooklyn Bridge. So I don't want to hear it. Yeah, it's real frustrating, bro. And temperaments are high right now because of everything going on and congestion pricing. Now everybody's forced to the subway.
I will say that the traffic in the city has been thin.
Better, much better. Yeah. But look at the subway system. It's crazy. It's packed with people, man.
Fuck the poor. Fuck them.
Everything's going to hell.
That's like that movie Crash. You ever watch that movie Crash?
Crash. I'm sure I did.
I think it was Don Cheadle was in it.
Sounds familiar.
Anyway, maybe it wasn't him, but either way, I remember the line where he said, do you understand why buses have giant windows, right? It's to degrade the poor people. It's like to put the poor people on display in the buses.
Yeah.
Which I really don't think so. And I wouldn't be able to sit in a bus with teeny tiny windows. It's fuck that.
Yeah, I don't like riding buses. I'd rather be on a subway, to tell you the truth.
Not anymore, apparently.
No, I don't have a choice. There's nothing I can do about it. I got to get to work. I got to make money. I got to do it. That's it.
Oh, man. You think the Egyptians have to take buses and trains to go to work?
The Egyptians. Yo, you heard about the pyramids, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think? You think it's true?
Yes.
You think it's true?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like we're jumping the gun too quick. I think that I saw what they saw on that radar picture that they have, and then all of a sudden they come up with this 3D picture of tunnels with coils, and it could be walkways or staircases.
They just use that same technology to find this gigantic city.
But you can't go that
Amazon.
deep with that. That's what I'm saying. I started going down this rabbit hole, and I started watching these other scientists who are actually debunking the news. Like, we shouldn't jump on it right away. Let's see the science. Show us the science. What did you do? How did you do? Don't just show us a grainy ass picture of radar and then these perfectly coiled fucking columns that go down, and then these big cement blocks. If that's true, then bro, it's aliens.
I don't think it's aliens.
I don't think they had to. How are they gonna do that? How?
Okay, let me.
At that time.
You gonna let me talk?
No. Hawaii. The word of the day.
So let's pretend with me, okay? Pretend that this asteroid that's on its way here in 2032 is way bigger than what everybody's talking about, just so we're not fucking panicking.
Right.
And it hits the fucking ocean, and it literally kills 80% of the population of the planet. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's say we're in a 100, 200 year nuclear winter, what they call, with all the dust that goes, right?
Okay.
So everything fucking dies. Very few people survive.
Okay.
So who's gonna survive? People that are already living off the land. People that wear leaves for fucking clothes and know how to hunt and eat. These are the people that are gonna survive. Few other survivors from the cities. You're a dick. Few other survivors from the cities are gonna find their way into the woods or into the forest and find all these people that live off the land. And these people that live that are uncontacted, they don't know what a fucking airplane is. There's some people that live to this day that don't know anything about technology. So they're gonna find these other people and they're gonna give them stories. Oh, we used to live in giant buildings and we used to blah, blah, blah. Where's the evidence? Well, it's all gone and buried. 1,000 years from now, 2,000 years from now, when there's nothing left and people are resurging again, maybe a different type of civilization that is not based on money or stuff like that, right, starts to test around and say, how the fuck was it magic? How did they build? Like, let's say the Empire State Building is buried under mud and they dig it out and they're like, holy shit, how the fuck, this must have been aliens made this. That's bullshit, dude.
Okay.
I think that, let me just finish my thought. I think that we are just one of many cycles in civilization existence that has happened. That's all.
Right, okay. So, about that. They're talking about how deep these fucking things are.
2 kilometers.
below the waterline. So how, Sway?
How, Sway?
Take a few steps back to go.
You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers.
The Nile River has been 12,000 for whatever thousands of years has been the same, the Nile River. And this is what the scientists were saying. How are they building below the waterline?
What do you mean? We do it all the time when we cross to New Jersey in the Lincoln Tunnel.
Now, these day and age. But back then,
But
how?
That's my
Do
point.
you see how they made these tunnels?
Yes, I understand that.
They had one of those. They had one of those things that you digs in.
Whatever they had, they were able to lift blocks that were 100 tons that we can't even do today. They did back then. So what does that say to me? That says to me that
It's aliens. It's aliens.
It's us with the different tech. Imagine if our civilization, what we know to be civilization, didn't discover fire for the first time and didn't use, because fire is basically what sparked everything. The fire allowed us to live longer. Fire, because we cooked food. Fire allowed us to build shelters. Fire allowed us to not have to be outside all the time.
Make burgers.
Right. So my point, so the Industrial Revolution, everything with heat, the steam engine is with heat. Everything was based on us discovering fire. What if at some point in the 4.5 billion years of the Earth existing, there was a group of humans that lived in a certain time
that were way more advanced than us.
That discovered, they dug the hole, and because uranium, you can dig for uranium. They found uranium, and they based their technology on some shit like that. It's absolutely possible. The Ark of the Covenant. So if you really dig into the story, the Ark of the Covenant, and it's in the Bible, in the Old Testament. The people that were selected to carry this thing would die in short order. They describe boils on the skin. The skin that's radiation sickness. So what if the Ark was a tech that was found, and it's just so everybody that looks at it, looks upon it, or touches it dies. It must be God. You can't look at God. It's just tech that people didn't fucking understand. What if that was some kind of a reactor?
Start the reactor.
That worked in the pyramids and shit like that. I mean, the pyramids themselves are not tombs. They're not tombs.
So you're saying. I mean, I'm not a big Bible reader, but you're saying that then the Bible just adapted that theory and ran with it.
Yeah, like telephone. Like telephone. Whatever.
So there's no God?
No, I never said there was no God. There's definitely something higher than us that existed 100%. I don't know what this thing is. It's definitely not a person. It's not, it's not a God that any religion, all the religions are interpreting this as their own God, but it's one entity that everybody kind of is.
That's my belief.
Yeah, there's definitely one entity that everybody believes in and says, you know what, this is what drives us to be moral people, etc.
And you don't think, what are your thoughts? Do you think that might be alien or somebody, created us like as an experiment and they're looking upon us right now?
I hate to believe the whole. Listen, I don't want to say I hate. I hate that I'm hating. Right? 10 years ago, I would have said yes, it's aliens. We came from somewhere else, or there were people that came from somewhere else and created us. Right? I mean, the story of the Anunnaki. Right.
I know about that.
And that's an old. I mean, that's hundreds of, or whatever, thousands of years old. This story. I mean, for somebody that primitive back then to think of this crazy thing where people came from the sky and bestowed upon us technology and taught us how to do shit. I mean, how the fuck did these people know that there were planets and that the sun was in the middle? This was before the Europeans decided, hey, the sun's in the middle and everything. Right before that, people were kind of either imprisoned or burned at the stake for saying shit like that. But these people thought that's what they thought. Right. And if you look at Egyptian hieroglyphs, they're depict people that are way taller than we are. Right?
Is that just another civilization, or is that you think that's from another planet?
Another version of us, yes. So like, why were dinosaurs so big back in the day? Because the atmosphere was different than it was now. The atmosphere it had more oxygen in it. Was way more constant. That's been proven. because you can tell in the strata, in the strata, in the layers of the Earth, how much oxygen. And there's layers that can prove that we were hit by asteroids 65 million years ago. Anywhere you dig in the world, when you go down to like a 65 million year old strata, there's like a dark layer of just ash that was around the fucking world. So that's science. I mean, they proved that shit. I believe that just like dinosaurs were giant and plants and trees were giant back then, so were people. We were bigger back then. Yeah. And so think about it. People that are bigger, taller, and stronger, their brains are also bigger. They probably have the capacity to understand nature, just like birds can see magnetic fields. Who the fuck knows what these giant people could do or say? And just think about it. They're called megaliths for a reason. They're gigantic. Who the fuck of our size is gonna build a pyramid with these gigantic blocks that are so perfect you can't fit a fucking human hair?
So it could be giants.
Yeah, just our version of people that were bigger, and as time went on, they died off.
So how come? So how come? Again, and I'm going to use the Bible for example because that's one of the oldest things that we know. How come those people are not spoken about? I mean, yeah, they talk about the Anunnaki, and how come there's no?
Because the general population would be out of control. The people who hold power over religions and general populations and say you can't shut the
so
fuck
you think
up.
they're
It's
keeping
gonna
it from
freak
us?
people.
You think they're keeping it from us?
They're gonna freak people out.
I'm tired of hearing that freak people. I'm tired of people who say
there's a whole Middle East that proves you wrong.
But I'm saying about freaking people out. Like why are they treating us?
Because your entire life has been based on some type of religion.
But at some point, bring the truth fucking out, bro. Why? Why the religion? Is it money? Is it what? Like I don't get it. Why is religion so fucking important?
What is the richest country in the world?
Oh,
the Vatican.
Oh, okay, yes.
Go where the money's at.
So it is money.
Yeah, it has got to be in control. You know, imagine they come out and say, hey, by the way, it was giant people that built the pyramids and all these stories that
you know what I would say? I would go dope. I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't start fucking flipping out.
That's you. People that have a deeper sense of thought and can step
Belief
back. Yeah, but people that are like these people that go to church every Sunday or pastors or the Pope, the people that send their tithings in, they would lose their fucking mind. The Pope is nobody, basically. Okay, but that's you and me right now in 2025, right. But the majority of humans are not like us. I mean, if you leave this country, anywhere you go is way more religious than here. Right? I mean, it just is.
I don't know, but according to that, I need to see more, bro. I can't just some guys said they did this, and then the people that I'm hearing debunking it are saying that they know the technology that was being used, and it does not go that deep.
Okay. So
for them to know exactly that there's a platform all the way at the bottom that's the size of the Statue of Liberty.
I understand that.
That's crazy. I need
if
to
I
see
told
more.
you, if I told you that humans, our civilization, our time between 300,000 years ago and now, created a fucking wall out of stone that's thousands of miles long and hundreds of feet high in certain places, you would say that's bullshit. But the Great Wall of China exists. It exists. It's just if people can imagine it, there's a way of it happening. I mean, look at us right now. Autonomous cars. Knight Rider was 40 fucking years ago, and we're literally living in a time where Knight Rider fucking exists. Regular people going into space. We thought about this in the 60s. There's regular people right now. I mean, shit happens. I mean, it's just technology exists. A foldable screen. Mm-hmm. A fucking computer that's held in your hand. That's more powerful than what NASA used in the 60s. It's possible. So imagine, and that's us only having technology for 200 years. Imagine a civilization that existed for thousands of years, bro. Imagine us if we don't get wiped out by some form of nature. Imagine our tech 1,000 years from now. It'd be fucking magic, bro. It'd be just like we're saying, oh, how are the aliens came down and built these fucking megaliths? No. Imagine a civilization that lived hundreds of thousands, let's say 1,000, 2,000 years before the building of the pyramids. imagine the technology they'd be able to develop until then. And like, and it's not just, there's pyramids all over China. There's pyramids in South America. There's pyramids in Russia. There's pyramids in Africa. There's pyramids everywhere. They had a purpose. I really truly believe that they were power generators, and they sent, just the way Nikola Tesla had Wardenclyffe Tower built as an experiment in Long Island to create electricity and just flow it through the air and light up fluorescent bulbs. And Thomas Edison said, how the fuck am I going to put a meter on that? Fuck you. I want all your money. I'm taking your passport away, and you're going to die in a fucking hotel room. That's what was going on back then. I mean, you do know about the what is the name of it? It's called the Lotus. Either way, there's a depiction in Dendera, the Dendera Lotus, I believe it's called. It's an inscription on a wall that looks like there's people holding a giant light bulb. Like, how are you constructing to exactness inside of the pyramid without lighting?
Right. No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not possible.
Right.
Unless those people saw at night.
So that's my thing. So then your belief is that there was a civilization smarter than us back then, more advanced than we are right now.
They had more time. Yes. Now, they didn't have computers. So the thought is, had Nikola Tesla been allowed, right? If Nikola Tesla was allowed to proliferate his technology and sending electricity free through the air, our lives would be very different right now. How? Transistors wouldn't work because of the magnetic fields, which means we'd have no computers, we'd have no TVs.
I think a lot more people would be sick too, with that type of thing.
Maybe
going to cancer, shit like that.
Right, but maybe medicine was different back then. Maybe you base remember, our medicine is based on the technology that we know. What if their medicine is based on different technology? How did they know back then that the DNA strand was a helix, a caduceus?
Dude, the cover to one of these coffins and those things, it's like 5 tons.
Yeah, dude. There's machinery today that cannot lift one of those fucking blocks. So just
that's why I'm like, if life on Earth is evolving and getting more and more advanced, like, I don't see how people at that time would be able to do that. And the way they look in the inscriptions or whatever, they look like
bigger.
Yeah, but they look like they're wearing robes, and they look like, they don't look like they're advanced enough to do that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
because of the way we were, like, we live in a world where,
like, if we draw inscriptions, not to interrupt, but if we do inscriptions of us, you're gonna have clothing codes, Jordans. Yeah, how come they didn't have none of that shit and they look like they?
Because we base our morality and our daily lives on the technology that we have around us. If we lived 100 years ago, we'd be wearing black suits with hats. If 200 years ago, we'd be wearing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
Right, and then you go further back, and they're wearing sandals and fucking robes.
Right.
And you think those people were more advanced, and they couldn't come up with fucking pants and sneakers?
I think that just like the people that are in power, okay, the most powerful person on the planet right now is who?
Elon Musk.
No. No. The Pope.
Oh, yeah, but the Catholic.
What does the Pope wear?
Right.
And what technology do we have right now? So maybe we're only depicting
but
the powerful
we're talking
people.
about right now, right?
People that were worthy of being inscripted on walls were powerful people. They fucking wear robes. And back then, just their whole society was not based on consumerism. It was just different. That's like you going to Brazil and seeing these uncontacted tribes. They're not wearing Nikes. They're wearing fucking leaves and shit.
I get your opinion, but I feel like, I don't know. I'm the type of person, bro. I love science, and you have to prove shit to me.
I know, and that's fine. But what you don't know, right, is that I've been following and reading shit for the last 15 years from people like Michael Cremo, Randall Carlson, Graham Hancock. These are people that have been chastised. These are people that well-educated people that have been chastised by regular scientists, by the scientific community, because they dare to say that the history that we've been taught is wrong. Well, Graham Hancock is one that says that we are a species with amnesia. We deliberately don't teach the true history of what's happened on our planet. And he was one of the, for him and Randall Carlson studies, I forget what the name of it is, but he's the one that studies how the land was formed after the impact of asteroids. And he's very well known around the world. So him and Graham Hancock paired up and said, hey, we think that the civilization, like the pyramids, are way fucking older than what we've been told. Like way older, like 30,000 years older than what we've been told. And then the people, the Egyptians that lived there, or like the Mayans that lived in the pyramids, you can tell that they built these temples upon structures that were already there. That's why you can tell that by from a certain line down, it's like these big megalithic blocks, and then on top of that are smaller stuff that we can carry, rocks on top of it. But if you dig down, it's these giant fucking rocks. So there's a video of a dude that can float a fucking rock using sound. You've seen that?
No.
With vibrations, the dude's like spinning around.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? Maybe they were based on sound. Maybe they were able to do that. Yeah. It's mind blowing. It's really mind blowing.
Where do you think, if those pillars or whatever it is that's under the pyramid supposedly go that deep, where's the rock from there that was pulled out of those holes, dug out of those holes? Where's the rock?
I think they used the rock to build.
No. According to the scientists that I was listening to, they were like, that's impossible to say that because we know the quarry where those blocks came from. They have already proven that they know where the quarry is, or it's called a quarry or something like that, where they get the rocks from.
Yeah, right.
So what happened to all that rock? It wasn't coming out in big blocks like that, the rock, because you're digging and you're breaking through. So where is it?
Who knows what happens in fucking
like that? Things like that make me not want to jump to conclusions.
Right? No, that makes perfect sense. What if? Do you know what an obelisk is?
That's this thing that I had one time, but I put a cream on it, and it went away.
So an obelisk, it looks like a tower. Matter of fact, we're gonna go drive by one right now. It's like a tower with the triangle on top. What if the fucking pyramids that we're looking at are just the tops of fucking obelisks that are buried in sand? Do you understand that? So like 200 or 2, whenever the fuck they discovered the pyramids and the what's it called? The lion,
the Sphinx.
The Sphinx. You know that was all under sand.
Yeah. And it was all. Yeah, I know that. I know that.
They just stopped digging.
Yeah, imagine you kept going. Right. And according to other people, there's beliefs that originally it was a lion.
Yes.
And that
but
the
like
people.
That's Graham Hancock you're listening to.
Right.
That's Graham Hancock.
Yeah.
So basically, and his scientific, not proof of it, but his scientific evidence of that is what they call precession of the stars. He said, so it's like right now the pyramids are aligned to Orion's belt, right?
Right.
But the Sphinx, in order for them to, so the Sphinx, he believes that the Sphinx was built just like the pyramids were built to match Orion's belt. That the Sphinx was built to match the constellation Leo. Yes, I heard that too. And that the pyramids themselves are aligned with stars. Yes, perfectly.
Yeah.
And so the constellation Leo would have been over Egypt at that point where the Sphinx is 30,000 years ago, not 5,000 years ago when they said that the pyramids were built. You know, and this whole story, that the Pharaoh Khufu built the Pyramid of Giza in 20 years. These are just fucking stories to make him look like, hey, they were already there. They were already there and they fucking used them. But by then, they weren't power generators anymore. They were just there.
Yeah, I heard something about Tomb of the Birds. You've heard that term before? That's inside the Sphinx, Tomb of the Birds. And they said that there was this back door or back entryway into the, and they found it. And then some dudes actually went in. They couldn't go in deeper, but then when they came back, it was blocked off. Somebody boop, 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 shut it down. Like, they don't want you going in there no more.
So, do you remember the movie, the Indiana Jones movie, the last one with The Last Crusade, the one with Sean Connery where it was his dad?
All right, so I'm gonna.
You haven't.
I don't watch Indiana Jones movies.
Okay, all right. Well, either way.
Oh, I thought you were gonna hit me.
No, it's all right. So at the end of the movie, they shoot this movie at the entrance of a real excavation, and it's this like a fucking cathedral etched into the side of a mountain, but the fucking doors are like 30 feet tall. Everything inside is like made for people that are fucking giants. Come on, what more evidence do you need? Why would we build something that big just cause? It's bullshit. There were people that were bigger. Matter of fact, the Bible, I forget what book of the Bible literally opens up with, and there were giants in those days. That's the fucking Bible that says that shit. This David and Goliath thing, there's some truth to that.
I don't know, man. But,
I get excited about it. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you for that because I'm learning from you right now, and I'm hearing other opinions. I'm very skeptical about a lot of shit. I need to see shit. I need to understand shit. You need to give me the science behind it. Like I truly believe that I want to see more of like what I saw a video where they were like, we need to see more of what exactly they did to come up with the conclusion that there's a fucking towers, and they're talking about 2,000 kilometers, they said?
No, 2 kilometers.
2 kilometers. The statue of the Empire State Building is like 400 and some odd, whatever. And we're talking about...
It's the tallness of 2 Burj Khalifas. You know Burj Khalifa?
That's crazy, yeah. That's crazy, bro. Like that. Mm-hmm. I just feel, I don't know. I felt like we're advancing now, and we're the furthest.
Our version.
I guess it's our civilization.
Version. Yeah. Our version. Yes.
But damn, they didn't have cars back then. They were so smart, and they didn't have none of it like that.
I believe that place that I'm talking about with the giants sketched in the wall is called Dendera.
You're gonna have to edit.
I think it's called Dendera.
This fell off.
It's okay. I believe it's called Dendera. And in the Dendera inscriptions, there's shit that looks like helicopters. I mean, look at there's a. If I were to say to you, Quetzalcoatl, do you know what that is?
No.
It's called it's the name for the feathered serpent. This is what the South Americans believe came from the sky.
Oh.
There's an inscription on the wall of a person inside, like a fucking, almost like a rocket ship with handles and shit like that.
I've seen that, yeah.
Who knows? India talks about Vimanas. Vimanas were giant buildings that used to fly around.
And I think that's on the same scriptures or that they showed something that looks like a helicopter.
Yes, that's Dendera. Yes, exactly. But yeah, you got to listen to a little bit of Graham. And what's crazy is I bet you Graham Hancock is losing his mind right now because everybody calls him a fucking kook. And he's like, you see what I'm talking about? And he was, I believe John Anthony West was another guy that started talking about that the erosion on the sides of the Sphinx, like in order for water to groove the sides of this is not like a 5,000-year-old erosion. Like he's like, it's 30, 40,000 years old. And I believe it. What's so hard about the Earth's been around for 4
They said it was
years.
thousands of years of rain falling upon that thing. It had to be.
That's an obelisk.
I gotcha. Okay. So what are those? All right. Easter Island.
Yes.
Do you think that continues down too? Those
they pulled them out.
They did, right?
Yeah. Giant.
Yeah.
Giant people, dude. People that were big. People that were big.
Interesting, man.
So imagine that's a representation of what is really actually under the pyramids. And you're just seeing the pyramids or just the top of them.
Wow.
So there's the obelisk, or an example of an obelisk. So imagine you see how the top of it's a pyramid.
Yep.
Imagine what we're looking at Giza is just the top of a fucking obelisk. And these pillars that go 2 kilometers down, it almost makes sense why those obelisks look like that. So yeah, dude, crazy shit, right?
Yeah, it's fucking amazing, man.
Who knows what, a month will bring. And those tests of those underground images, that was done 2 years ago. You know that, right? That wasn't like last
that wasn't
Tuesday.
recent. But then why it took so long to come out?
Because they have to be fucking sure that they're looking at the right thing to go out there and not be called kooks.
But are they sure? You know what I mean? Because as soon as they dropped it, if they took that long, then why are there scientists trying to debunk it?
And again, because I watched Michael, Graham Hancock, and these other guys, they have to tread lightly on how to present new shit to mainstream scientists who have the power to shut people down and call them crazy. So people have to kind of take their time and say, hey, here's some evidence, don't yell at me.
Right.
Yeah,
man, but I don't know. I like to believe that we were created by aliens or dropped off here and kind of we're an experiment.
I mean, look, I think Mars was habitable at some point. I think Mars had fucking people. So if those giants wound up here, maybe we are aliens. Maybe we are
that theory,
descendants of aliens.
That theory, I believe, I would believe it because from everything that I've heard, I told you I'm into this whole space thing, and they're finding material in the dust of Mars that's consistent with stuff that happens here only when a nuclear weapon has been exploded.
You're talking about the granules, the glass granules?
Yeah, and only happens when during a nuclear explosion here on Earth.
I believe it.
So maybe there was a nuclear war of some sort that killed off the planet. It killed the atmosphere. It killed everything.
So if you can believe that our ancestors lived on Mars and had technology to have nuclear stuff, then why is it so crazy?
No. I'm believing.
And build crazy shit.
But this goes to my theory of aliens if we're talking about Mars.
Right, but maybe we are the aliens.
But that's what I'm saying, that we came from another planet, right?
Right.
So it would be aliens. Not from this planet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just proved my point. It's over. Podcast is over. Manny's right.
This fucking guy. Anyway, dude, I had a great time. This is a great conversation. I'm sorry I got so animated.
Nah, I love it, bro. I learned from you.
I learned from you too, man. No doubt. All right, folks. Well, I had a good time.
I had a great time. I learned from Omar a lot of stuff, and we did come from aliens. We're aliens.
We definitely learned from each other. That's for sure. For sure. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Also, our new channel, Handfellas. That's silly puppet parodies that we've been doing.
The most talented puppets in the world.
No doubt. They're also on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube as well.
Please follow.
Well, folks, I'm Omar Diaz.
I'm Manny Clone.
And this was Too Broke
to Joke. Peace, y'all.
Yo, gather round, folks. Here's the tale of two dudes, middle-aged and broke. They're in the financial roots. They try to stack the paper, but it all fell through. And now they're podcasting like just to share their blues. Means man and no, kings of being broke. The wildest scream help.
Yo, it ain't no joke.
But they don't let despair be the punchline they evoke. They're too broke to joke. Is the funny antidote? O's got bills, mortgage oh so large. Man's got loans like a credit charge. They're in middle age, living life at large, but their bank accounts are
Man, we're living a mirage.
They dream of yachts and private jets,
But their reality's more like garage sale $2.
They can't afford steak, ramen noodles, and prayers to middle-aged dudes, but they're human everywhere.
The kings of puns
And the lords of
that
jest,
make you laugh so hard.
you forget the rest.
From empty pockets
To credit card debt's a mess. They're too broke to joke, come check the best.
Too broke to joke, that's the life we chose. From the barrio to the barrel, yeah, everybody knows. We may be broke, but we're laughing through the pain, turning every struggle into podcast and fame.
Too broke to joke, that's the life we chose. From the barrio to the barrel, yeah, everybody knows.
We may be broke, but we're laughing through the pain, turning every struggle into podcast and fame.
I think a gift certificate is a bullshit gift. You know? What's a gift certificate? You take money that was good everywhere. And you ruin it. You know? Just give me the fucking 20. It was a universal gift certificate. You just want to dictate where I shop.
Hand fellas.